Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sangeeta Sharma Dhar, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar College, Delhi University. We are going to discuss today the topic Social Change and Development and Community Engagement from paper Human Resource Development through Community Engagement. Social change and development is a global agenda. It is based on the philosophy of creating an egalitarian society with a just social order where every individual would be given equal opportunity to participate and benefit from the resources and opportunities available. This agenda has emerged from the concept of social justice, wherein everyone must be given equal chance to harness his potential to the maximum. This is concerned with the creation of opportunities and providing all the social and economic support that is required to grow. Social development is an all-encompassing word which comprises of economic, political and human development. Development is an all-encompassing word. In a vast, highly populated country with a diverse population and divisions based on gender, caste, language, urban, rural, organized, unorganized, the task of social development at its best is people-driven with their active participation in policy formulation and implementation. Current scenario in the wake of gradually reducing social capital owing to trust deficit resulting from systemic corruption and culture of work shirking needs to give a rethinking to the engagement of communities in the humongous task of social development. How can this be achieved will be discussed. So let's see change. Change is a neutral term. It could be in any direction, positive or negative, constructive or destructive, slow or fast. Change is evident when there is geographical alteration due to climatic catastrophe. It may occur due to change in physical condition or layout designed in any town. It may also be evident when a river drifts apart. However, the speed of the change may vary, as some changes may be immediate or fast like tsunami which led to catastrophe and changed the entire geographical and economic condition of an area. Change is evident when a bride refuses to marry into a family demanding dowry. It may occur when a girl from a poor family gets educated, clears civil service exams. Migle in 1995 defined social development as a planned social change designed to promote the well-being of the population as a whole and in conjunction with a dynamic process of economic development. To quote, a process of planned social change designed to promote the well-being of the population as a whole in conjunction with a dynamic process of economic development, quote unquote. The concept of social development as a policy process is critical to this perspective. As a process, social development is inextricably tied to economic development. Interdisciplinary analysis and strategies, institutional intervention, universal coverage and comprehensive social welfare. Community engagement. In a vast, highly populated country with a diverse population and divisions based on gender, caste, language, urban and rural, organized and unorganized, the task of social development at its best is people-driven. Concept of social development. The concept of social development is inclusive of economic development, but it differs from it in the sense that it emphasizes development of the totality of the society in its economic, political, social and cultural aspects. Gore, 2003. Economic development. Trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics is a theory that says benefits for the wealthy trickle down to everyone else. These benefits are usually tax cuts on businesses, high income earners, dividends and capital gains. Harrod-Domar model. Harrod-Domar model shows how sufficient investments through savings can accelerate growth. Investments generate income and supplements productivity of the economy by increasing the capital stock. Indian 5-year plans were following this model in the initial stages. The assumptions of Harrod-Domar model. First assumption is laissez-faire, where there is no government intervention. Second is a closed economy, no participation in foreign trade. Third is capital goods do not depreciate as they possess a boundless timeline. Another assumption is constant marginal propensity of the population to save, and another assumption is interest rates remain unchanged. So it was only on these assumptions that Harrod-Domar model was based. Linear stage theory. This is also known as the Rostow model. Rostow's model of economic development divided the economic development into 5 stages. Number 1, traditional society. This is an agricultural economy with subsistence eating pattern, and this is usually not for sale. Second is preconditions for takeoff. Here agriculture becomes more mechanized and more output is traded. Due to mechanization, labor is free to participate in other economic ventures. Third stage is take off. Here manufacturing industry assumes greater importance, although the number of industries remains small. Political and social institutions start to develop. Drive to maturity. Industry becomes more diverse. Growth should spread to different parts of the country as the state of technology improves. The economy moves from being dependent on factor inputs for growth towards making better use of innovation to bring about increases in real per capita income. And last stage of Rostow's economic development model is the age of mass consumption. Output levels grow, enabling increased consumer expenditure, and there is a shift towards tertiary sector activity. Law of diminishing returns. This states that for means of production, if we keep all factors constant and increase another factor for increasing output, a point will come when addition in the factor would not gradually increase the output, and at one point its effect of increased input will become diminished. In other words, a point will eventually be reached at which addition of the input yield progressively smaller or diminishing increases in output. The combination of land and labor would be less efficient because the proportional increase in the overall output would be less than the expansion of the workforce. Structural change model of economic development. In addition to the accumulation of capital, both physical and human, a set of interrelated changes in the economic structure of the country are required for the transition from a traditional economic system to a modern one. Critics were skeptical about economic development as it did not give a true reflection of the societies prevailing at that time, nor does it speak of individual health and status in the society. For example, my feet are in ice and my head is on fire. How should I feel? Well, I must feel good as the average temperature of my body is just fine. This was the irony of calculating the development of the nation on the basis of averages and per capita income. After much impetus was given to the economic growth, many critics were explaining it as jobless growth, ruthless growth, voiceless growth. Pattern of political development defines the kind of economic and social development of a society. Democracy is a prerequisite to social development, whereas authoritarian and autocratic governance may maintain economic development at the cost of social development. Capability approach. The view that income and wealth are not ends in themselves but instruments for other purposes goes back at least as far as Aristotle. Amartya Sen, the 1998 Nobel laureate in economics, argues that capability to function is what really matters for status as a poor or non-poor person. As Sen puts it, economic growth cannot be sensibly treated as an end in itself. Development has to be more concerned with enhancing the lives we lead and the freedoms we enjoy. In effect, Sen argues that poverty cannot be properly measured by income or even by utility as conventionally understood. What matters fundamentally is not the things a person has or the feelings these provide, but what the person is or can be and does or can do. What matters for well-being is not just the characteristics of commodities consumed as in utility approach, but what use the consumer can and does make of the commodities. This was quoted from Todaro and Smith 2012. Sources of disparity. Sen identifies 5 sources of disparity between measured real incomes and actual advantages. First, personal heterogeneities such as those connected with disability, illness, age or gender. Second, environmental diversities such as heating and clothing requirement in the cold, infectious diseases in the tropics or the impact of pollution. Third, variation in social climate such as the prevalence of crime and violence and social capital. Fourth, distribution within the family. Economic statistics measure incomes received in a family because it is the basic unit of shared consumption. But family resources may be distributed unevenly, as when girls get less medical attention or education than boys do. Fifth, differences in relational perspectives. People-centered development. Development is the process of improving all human life and capabilities by raising the people's level of living, self-esteem and freedom. Development is actually an utopian idea which usually is in the process of becoming rather than being. It is desirable but almost unachievable. This hierarchy of developed versus underdeveloped has been created post 1990s when we started to pay attention not only to economic but also social development, which includes political development as well as human resource development. The world conferences and summits since 1990s have been the best attempts in the history of the United Nations to give concrete content to these objectives of the United Nations Charter. Although United Nations forums had long been the locus of policy debates, the conferences and summits of the past 2 decades were exceptional in responding to calls by leaders from many countries for the United Nations to more actively adopt the normative role outlined in the Charter by defining values, setting goals, articulating strategies and adopting programs of action in different dimensions of development. Being a new concept, this measures and ranks countries not only on the grades of economy but also how individual, women and children are maintaining health, mortality, fertility as well as education, as well as child sex ratio, to actually keep a check on the intangible measures of development by developing indicators for quantitative analysis. Underdeveloped countries strive to become developing and developing countries always strive to become developed, while developed countries start to invest in contributing to research to lead a better life and develop a greener earth, roping in other nations too. So we see all the countries are working on an agenda depending upon their place and position on the path to development. With the changing time, the development issue also pose new challenges to the societies and nations. The new development discourse known as Sustainable Development Goals has 17 goals. Number 1, end poverty. 2, end hunger. 3, well-being. 4, quality education. 5, gender equality. 6, water sanitation for all. 7, affordable and sustainable energy. 8, decent work. 9, technology to benefit all. 10. Reduce inequality. 11. Safe cities and climate. 12. Responsible consumption by all. 13. Social climate change. 14. Protect the ocean. 15. Take care of the earth. 16. Live in peace. And 17. Mechanism and partnership to reach the goal. Human resource led development. Human capital is productive investments embodied in human persons. These include skill, abilities, ideals, and health resulting from expenditure on education, on the job training programs, and medical care. Human resources are the quantity and quality of nation's labor force. Let us see what is social capital. Social capital may be defined as those resources inherent in social relations which facilitate collective action. Social capital resources include trust, norms, and networks of association representing any group which gathers consistently for a common purpose. A norm of a culture high in social capital is reciprocity, which encourages bargaining, compromise, and pluralistic politics. Another norm is belief in the equality of citizens, which encourages the formation of cross-cutting groups. The presence of social capital is a prerequisite to community engagement. This social capital is the foundation of the community engagement in social development programs. It is the latent energy which, if tapped properly, can lead to tremendous force which has the potential to bring structural changes in the society. As the governments are trying to engage in the pursuit of social development, the reach of the government may not be till the last person of the society. Whereas most of the development plans are top down, but the approach of bottom up is what is required. The macro level development is possible with the top down approach, but micro level development is achieved only by the direct involvement of the masses in the development. Civil society acts as a buffer between the government and people and ensures that the policies are conveyed and translated into action plans. They ensure the involvement of the local people into the implementation of the plan and assess the impact of the intervention whatsoever on the people. A number of organizations are involved in the research on the problems of the polity. Such researches are great source of enhancing the bottom-up approach of social development. Community engagement and community-based organization. Generally, a charity paradigm involves offering assistance to individuals who are in need of help with immediate problems. In contrast, a social change paradigm focuses on making changes in those societal structures that lead to inequities among groups of individuals. The policies and programs of countries are developed as per the development goals prescribed by the donor agencies. However, the countries plan for meeting these goals as they are in sync with the development needs and progress of the country itself. No matter how much we try to negate the economic development, the social development does require people to move from basic necessities to a better quality of life, which is not possible without a parallel economic growth, which is equitable with minimum income disparity. But has already been stated that mere economic growth may not lead to social development. The thrust may be on social development, but the basic principle of needs hierarchy requires countries to have the basic needs fulfilled along with other needs. This is the reason for international non-profit organizations for investing a lot of money in human resources. Why community engagement? The engagement of the community will ensure the following. Number one, provide necessary knowledge and information to the communities on the various development challenges, communicating to the community about the policy directions of the government. Number two, build the capacities of the people and communities, especially socially and economically excluded communities, to address the issue effectively. Number three, effective planning and implementation of program at community level. Number four, informed decision making. Number five, information sharing at family and community level. Number six, effective planning of resources. Number 7, nothing about us without us is the slogan of community engagement. Here, consulting the community as part of a process to develop government policy or build community awareness and understanding. This requires analyzing the social situation qualitatively to understand the nuances of a phenomena and sending the report to the government to help get some insights before developing a policy about them. Involving the community through a range of mechanisms like giving employment to the stakeholders in the NGOs or having regular participation from them to incorporate their input in the decision making process. Next is collaborating with the community by developing partnership to formulate options and provide recommendations. Any program needs to have stakeholders who possibly should be from the community, as this will help creating a connection between the two. Decisions which are taken by the community in collaboration with the NGO are more likely to be followed and adhered to. Programs emerging out of such interactions are likely to be successful and can implement and manage change. Source from International Association of Public Participation speaks about outreach at the first level, where some community involvement is there. Second level is consulting, where more community involvement is there. Third level is involving, where better community involvement is there. At the fourth level, there is a collaboration, which means that communities are being involved in a greater depth. And the last and the final stage is shared leadership, where there is a bi-directional dialogue happening between the community as well as the development planners. Locality development model. Locality development model is based on the premise that people's participation in the planning and program formulation will lead to better adherence to the program. Concept of community engagement is based on the democratic principles of governance. This includes engaging the communities in the achievement of social development goals. There are various policies and programs which reflect the government commitment towards the development challenges and issues. However, keeping the various perspectives in view, the situation demands effective community engagement strategies and programs which ensure on-ground mobilization of communities, provide them knowledge and information, and ensure informed decision making. Benefits for policymakers. Community input can improve the quality of policy being developed. Communication with the government is proactive. Engaging communities enhances the reputation of the organization representing government among the community with which it needs to work, hence enhances its public relation. Development of public policy can be improved by including civil society in public decision making and implementation. Summary. Currently, the civil society is undergoing a transition phase when society is laden with the problem of corruption. Social capital is at all-time low. The mutual trust between people is shattered. Crime is high. Incomes are polarized. Amidst the plush society, there is an underbelly of malnourished, illiterate, impoverished lot which is vulnerable to crime, drugs trafficking and sex. Besides this, the civil society itself is losing out on the credibility due to questionable practices regarding fund management. This is the time when the role of social workers cannot be overestimated. Such social worker or community worker must try to treat the problem of trust deficit, corruption and intolerance. As development process is affected by these undercurrents, it is all the more important to have community engagement in the process of social development for increased trust, transparency and dialogue between the community and development organization. Thank you.